I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White, Greer, and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White, Greer, and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White, Greer, and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
Well, good evening. Welcome back here to the Buter Gymnasium campus of Lexington Catholic. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest, William Moorfield here tonight, and our associate producer, Emma Eiler, as well. We're looking forward to it. Great semifinal matchups, Coach DeForest. First off, it'll be Louisville Trinity, who escaped the Henry Clay game last night, and Lexington Catholic, who knocked off a good team last night as well from who was it, Lex Cath? There's so many games. Holy Cross?
Holy
Cross. You have so many games going on. And then the next game will be Bryan Station, and they will take on Dunbar. So we got a really good twin bill here tonight of high school basketball.
Yeah, we have a great game tonight, right now. Just a battle of guards. I mean, I'm really excited to see Trinity's guards go up against Luke Johnson and those guys. And as you say that, it's always going to be, can the big guys take care of the boards tonight? Whitman's going to have a huge task. Trinity, both teams, great defensive teams. I can't wait to see the matchup.
And you know, I'm glad you brought up Peter Whitman, because he has had the injury. We can't disclose what type of injury it was, but all I'll say is now we know why he hasn't been able to be that force around the basket. You mentioned he led your team over the summer in rebounding, but obviously with HIPAA laws and things like that, we can't disclose it. But once he recovers, and he's getting there, Coach Salzman said, you know, he kept him out 4 or 5 games this year because of that injury. And but when he gets healthy, he's going to be a force, I think. And Catholic needs that force, because we saw Jordan Houston last night being a great force for Henry Clay against this Trinity team.
Yeah, it's going to be key as Whitman overcomes that injury. One of the keys to a transition team, you have to be able to rebound the basketball, and that's going to allow them to get the guards out, get Luke out in the fast break and that kind of thing. And Trinity's faced a lot of different fast-paced teams. I'm sure they'll be ready for that, but let's see if Whitman's a little more overcoming the injury and able to help his guards get out in transition.
What a game tonight. It's Louisville Trinity. They're led by their junior guard, Jacob King. Boy, he really came on last night for him and kind of asserted himself, but it didn't hurt that Tisdale picked up 4 fouls and a couple of late plays there. King knew that and kind of took advantage of that, I thought.
Yeah, he did. I think their hustle play late where they dove out of bounds to save it in one-handed really made the difference in the game. But King's heart and competitiveness, it's going to be crucial here tonight that he's able to lead his team. I just can't wait to see the matchup. King and Johnson, both a lot in their competitive spirit. It's going to be a fun game.
It's going to be a great matchup here between Louisville and Lexington Catholic and Louisville Trinity. Gary Ball with Coach Lee DeForest, William Moorfield here, and Emma Eiler. You hear the horn there. That means we're just about set for the pregame announcements by Greg Martin, a public address announcer here at Lexington Catholic. I know we'll have the national anthem. This is the semifinals. And, Coach, no doubt about it, we were looking for an all-Lexington Final Four, but Trinity kind of wrecked that party, didn't they?
Yeah, they show why they're one of the best teams in the state. And whether it's all Lexington or not, we've got all great teams tonight. It's looking forward to this competition.
First will be the pregame prayer, which was tradition here at Lexington. I see David Graves in the house. What a player he was here at Lexington Catholic. And we'll come back here with the starting lineups at the Buter Gymnasium.
I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Welcome back here to Buter Gymnasium, and we're just about set for the starting lineups. Lexington Catholic in the black tonight, Trinity in the white with the green. Let's take a look first at the Lexington Catholic Knights, coached by Brandon Salzman. Luke Johnson is your 6'3" junior guard, averaging 25 points a game. 6'3". They list him at 6'4", but J.J. Agbugu, that's probably a little stretch there, Coach. He's a senior, averaging 8 points a game. Donovan Morris, I think Donovan Morris tonight is going to be a key because he can knock down the three. He's a good ball handler. We know what Luke Johnson will give you. I think Donovan Morris is going to be a key tonight in this game for Lex Cath.
Yeah, he's going to have to help along with Luke Johnson of handling the basketball against Trinity's pressure. I'll be interested to see it because, you know, the Holy Cross game yesterday, there was some pressure on Catholic, but not the kind of pressure Trinity's going to bring. So be interesting to see how they feel each other out here in the first quarter.
Zan Payne's got to hit the boards like Zan Payne does. You know, he does a lot of great board work for Coach Salzman, the 6'5" sophomore, averaging nearly a double-double. And then big Peter Whitman, who we've talked about with that injury that has slowed him down a bit, but he's coming back into form. He is a 6'6" junior, and he's a force down there, and he's going to really be a big factor for Lex Cath when he completely heals from that injury, which obviously we can't disclose what that injury was. Trinity will counter tonight. They will counter with Jacob King. He's a 5'9" junior, averaging 17 points a game. It will be David Burton, a 6'2" junior, averaging 8.7 rebounds. Gabe Schmidt, a 6'1" senior, he averages nearly 14 points a game. I really like the Schmidt kid. I like the way he handles himself out there. He's a captain, a senior leader, but he does it by play. He's not a big vocal guy. He just does it by
Well, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and that's a key point. A lot of players try to do too much. He stays within his strengths, and he just helps them be the team that they are by not making many mistakes.
And the other starters for the Shamrocks of Coach Mike Szabo will be Lucas Berkman, a junior, and L.J. Harris getting the start. Although it won't be long before we see big 6'6" Christian Terry. Remember, he came off the bench last night, knocked down threes back-to-back in that big win over Henry Clay.
Yeah, and it was interesting because he didn't look like, you know, he doesn't look like what you would call a traditional shooter. His shot is a little unorthodox as well. But, look, the results speak for themselves. I know the first play they ran yesterday was a side pick and roll. Most big guys roll to the basket, as you know. He popped and hit the three, no big deal. So he's a shooter. You got to watch out.
As you're watching in high definition tonight, Catholic will be in the black and Trinity will be in the white with the green. Louisville Trinity, one of the top teams in the state, and Lexington Catholic, a little bit of a rebuilding year, really, when you look at it, all the youngsters they have for Brandon Salzman this year.
Yeah, they have a lot of young players, and then anytime you add, I think we mentioned this yesterday, you add a player of Luke Johnson's caliber, you add a 20-point-a-game scorer into the team, so everybody's still finding their roles, and they're ready to go.
Tap is controlled, and Luke Johnson has it for the Knights. He'll work it across on Schmidt. Johnson, who is an outstanding ball player and a ball handler, my goodness. Kicks it right side. Morris lets it rip off the iron. No. Good rebound by Payne. Back it goes to Morris. Kicks it back over to Payne. He fakes there on the guy, Jacob King, that we referenced a lot. Goes to Agbugu. Back to Luke Johnson. And Coach Catholic being very patient here after they got the open shot by Morris, it wouldn't go. Payne, hook shot, and back of the rim, no, but good looks there for Catholic.
Good patience, 2-foot jump stop in the paint for the first look. I think they'll take that all night.
Burton kicks it down to Harris. Harris posting up, a little fadeaway, and he rolls off there, rebounded by the Knights, Donovan Morris. Morris wanting to pick up the pace on Jacob King. Morris with no score yet here, just underway from the semifinals. Second game tonight will be Bryan Station and Dunbar. Agbugu at top of the circle, thought about the three, but backs it back out of there now. 6:50, Coach, and both teams filling each other out right now.
They are, and you can see Trinity's already trying to deny Luke Johnson the basketball. That's Schmidt's doing a great job.
Johnson's got it baseline. Schmidt on him. Luke backs it back out of there. Comes back to Donovan Morris. He launches one and knocks it down. That's what I was talking about in the pregame. I think Morris is going to be huge tonight. He knocks down a big three. 3-0 Catholic.
Great point, Coach.
6:27 here in the first period. Jacob King. He bounces over to Burton. Burton holds it high over his head. Comes back to Jacob King. Well, they love to get the ball in number one's hands, don't they?
He's very creative as a ball handler. You can see him. He's going to be trying to attack this zone, and just like that, creates shots for his teammates.
And creates one for Schmidt, who knocks it down. Gabe Schmidt. We're tied at 3. Well, you're right. King just created that. Penetrated, dished, and knocked down by Schmidt out of the left baseline. A three-pointer. We're tied. 6-minute mark of the first quarter.
They're doing a great job denying Luke the play. They ran him off a baseline screen, but Schmidt is just locked into him right now.
Agbugu back out to Big Peter Whitman. Back over to Payne. To Luke Johnson. Gabe Schmidt on him. Johnson. Here is Agbugu, the three. Back of the rim, no. And King there taps it, and coming up with it will be Harris.
Very patient by Catholic.
We're tied at 3. 5.5 to go in the first period here at Lexington Catholic High School. King for Trinity. Kicks it over in the corner to Berkman. Lucas loops it down to Harris, posting up on Whitman. Kicks it over to King. Here's a three out of the baseline. Knocks it down.
Beautiful.
Not only can he create, he can shoot.
That's excellent. Inside out, their last two possessions, King created with a dribble penetration, and that time it was a post inside out.
6-3 on the Jacob King trifecta. Both baskets for Trinity have been three-pointers, much like last night. Henry Clay and Trinity. Here's a long shot, and that's knocked down again by Moores. So back-to-back trays, and Mike Szabo is pleading his case with his players, saying you got to get out on that guy. You've seen already he can knock down a deep three, and Donovan Morris with back-to-back trays. We're tied at 6.
Well, you know, Coach Szabo's focus, it appears, is having Schmidt deny Luke, denies touches, try to limit his ability to impact the game early, but at the same time, he doesn't want to give shooters wide-open shots with their hands down, and I know that's I'm sure that's why he's called timeout here.
6-6 score here between Trinity and Lexington Catholic. Gary Ball, Coach the lead to Forrest, and William Warfield here. Thanks for watching tonight. And so far, it's been a three-point barrage. 2 3-pointers by Trinity's King and Schmidt, and 2 3-pointers by Lex Cath, Donovan Morris. We're tied at 6. Now, what did Coach Szabo tell his Shamrocks there during that timeout?
Well, I'm sure he's saying, hey, listen, he's hit 2. We got to get up on him, make him dribble. Their threes are coming only because Trinity's playing off a little bit, whereas on the other end, Trinity's creating the three-point shots with their drives and ability to get inside the paint. So
Harris, and reaching in on him was Donovan Morris, trying to pull the ball out of there as Harris was working on Zan Payne. First foul on Morris. First foul we've had called in this quarter with 4:37 in the first.
clean game so far.
King loops it way out to Lucas Berkman. Goes back over to Jacob King. In the middle they go now to Burton, David Burton. He stops from about 14, knocks it down.
Nice play. Way to attack the zone. You go to the high post. I mean, they're doing everything right now. Going low post, high post, getting shots.
8-6 on the Burton turnaround jumper just inside the free throw line. There's Johnson. Kicks it deep in the corner, and here's another Morris three. He got it again. That's 3 3-pointers by Donovan Morris. He's got 9 points. It's 9-8 Catholic. Trinity. Swing it out top to Burton. Schmidt looking at King. Doesn't give it to him. Schmidt back over to Jacob King. King has been steady Eddie in this tournament, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Look, just sets everybody up. They're doing a good job working against the zone. I'm sure they'll try to get it back inside.
Berkman falls to the floor, and J.J. Agbugu, first-team All-State football player, says, I'll take that, thank you very much.
Stronger than he looks.
Morris over to Payne. Payne kicks it in the corner. Agbugu, he fakes the three. Back to, well, they're wanting to get the ball to number 2 right now, aren't they? And King is on Luke Johnson. Let's see if Luke's coming off back-to-back 30-point performances for Catholic in this tournament. Cut off by King to the basket, off glass, good foul before the shot. And that's going to go, I believe, on King.
And they're running a couple more screen and rolls now for Luke. The last play, he set up the baseline drive and the pass there, and they're running a couple screens to try to get him loose.
If you're just tuning in, it's Louisville Trinity and Lexington Catholic, and the Knights leading 9-8. Donovan Morris has hit 3 big threes already, giving him a lot of attention, and he is working there on Gabe Schmidt. 3:12 to go in the first quarter. Morris comes over now to Luke Johnson. He's working on King, crossing over, bounces now to Payne. Zane in the lane, stripped away by King. He's got a steal in the bust out. He's got to his right, Berkman. Berkman lays it up and in.
Nice play by King. He got the strip there on Payne. Payne didn't really pay attention to him, so he might be coming out now.
T.C. Price up off that Catholic bench, the sophomore, who started earlier in the season before the football players came back and the injury to Peter Whitman. To the basket is Morris, and he's going to be fouled. Let's see who they called that one on. Was that on King as well? So King has picked up 2 quick fouls here, and that will possibly, that's going to get him to the bench for Trinity as Damon McLean comes in.
Yeah, he just took the 2 bigs out. Try to go in a little bit smaller here. Let's see how they handle that. Max
Sparkman has come in. He's open down on the left side, powers it up, but call is going to be a
offensive
clear out, I guess, on Sparkman.
Yeah, I guess they thought he lowered his shoulder. I'm not sure. And that's what Coach Salzman's asking. I'm not really sure either.
10-9. Trinity leads by 1 on the lay-in by Berkman. Schmidt for the Rocks. To Burton. He's open from 3. Got it.
Got to get a hand up there.
13-9 after the basket didn't count for Sparkman. Trinity comes back and buries a 3. Now they lead with their largest lead of 4, 13-9. I didn't see that foul on Sparkman, by the way. To the basket, Morris, and he's going to be fouled. Coach Zabel saying, that's got to be a charge. But as you mentioned last night, that block charge is the toughest call in basketball.
Yeah, it's definitely the toughest call. And the last call, if you didn't think that was a charge, then this one you might have thought this one was a charge. Yeah. So that's just the way it is. And the referees do the best job they can, but they have to call what they see, and everybody has a different angle. So
13-9, but at the line, Morris and Donovan will shoot 2, and he can have double figures if he makes one of these. He does. He's got 10 points now. He's got all 10 of Catholic points. And, Coach, I'm not saying we're Nostradamus or anything, but we certainly said in the pregame that Morris would have to be big in this game. He's already got 10 points.
Yeah, he's really stepped up. They focus, you can tell, on Luke, and you have to have some other players step up, and he definitely has the skills as he's demonstrating to take up some of that scoring load.
Morris with 11, 13-11 Trinity. A minute 57. We got folks watching up in Maine and Massachusetts. Coach Zabel's got some family watching up in Maine and Massachusetts. His parents, we'll give them a shout out, Frank and Linda Zabo. And the shot won't go there, but rebounded by a Catholic. Coming down with it there was Morris. Donovan down the middle of the floor, crossing over McLean. Donovan to the basket, throws it up, it rolls in there, and he will get the soup and the sandwich from Rafferty's.
What a take. I mean, he's having a great game. He's really stepped up. That pressure against Trinity, they're picking him up so high. They're picking him up 84 feet, and he's able to turn the Jets on. And not only that, but finish. You see a lot of players going out of control, but he drives in. He's under control, and he's the ability to finish there.
And he makes the free throw. It is now Donovan Morris 14, Trinity 13. He has all 14 Catholic points. Donovan Morris is putting on a clinic here. We still have a minute 30 to go in the first quarter. My goodness, what a performance by Donovan Morris, a great football receiver. McLean over now to Berkman. They hand it down to David Burton. Back out to McLean. And back into the game. But just check. Christian Terry's in there, by the way. He just checked in for Trinity. Got in under that radar on us. I hate when they do that on me. They check in under that radar, Coach. I got to see them when they come in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, Morris lowers his shoulder, throws it up, and that's going to be and Morris went down hard. And that's going to be a charge on Donovan, a little bit out of control that time.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have shot it a little earlier than that, but he's been having such a good game. That's his second foul. That'll change their offensive attack, but maybe some of the other players now step up. I know Trinity, since King's been out, has had a different attack as well. They love running this double high ball screen. That's what they've ran the entire first quarter against this matchup zone.
Blake Scott is checked in for the Knights, and also the freshman Jonathan Harden is in as well. Schmidt, 15-footer, no. Good box out there by Sparkman. Ball knocked away, and Coach Sullivan saying, grab the ball, guys. Get after the basketball. And Trinity just wanted it a little bit more that time.
Yeah, able to knock it loose. You have to chin the basketball.
That's right.
Whenever you get the rebound.
Chin it up. 14-13. Catholic on top. Trinity with the ball. 29 seconds here in the first period. Schmidt over to McLean. Launches the three. Back of the rim, no. Rebounded by Schmidt. Gabe powers it up, and it's blocked away there. And it'll go back to Trinity on the block. That's a good block there by T.C. Price, the 6'3 sophomore. We'll get back in to J.J. Agbugu, and also back in Whitman and Payne. And going out will be Harden, Sparkman, and also Price go out.
Probably after those last two possessions where they weren't able to get the rebound, you know, he put his rebounders back in.
14 seconds. Trinity probably take the last shot here before first quarter. David Graves, as I said, I mentioned that. David Graves in the house, former great Lexington Catholic player, Notre Dame standout. He's got his son with him. Schmidt launches the three. Got it at the first quarter buzzer. What a shot by Gabe Schmidt. 5 for him, and the lead is for Trinity, 16-14 as we head to the second quarter here. And we'll return thanks to White, Greer, and Maggard here on the Traditional Bank Classic at Lexington Catholic.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
So
welcome back. Gary Ball, Coach Lee DeForest, and William Warfield, Emma Eiler, our associate producer. 16-14, Coach, what do we look for as we head into the second quarter? Big three there by Schmidt of Trinity at the end of that first quarter buzzer.
Well, you can say Donovan Morris is having a great game, so even though he's got 2 fouls. It's interesting to see the coach's philosophy on this. A lot of coaches, if you get 2 fouls in the first half, they'll keep you out in the entire first half, and you have King with 2 fouls on Trinity, and then you have Donovan Morris with 2 fouls for Catholic. Let's see how that plays out.
David Johnson is in there for Trinity. First time he's got the basketball. Over to McLean. He goes now to Christian Terry. Backs up. He lines a 3 up. That's off the mark. And Whitman got a hand on it, but goes right back out to Berkman. Now Berkman, a 17-footer, bullseye. Well, these kids can shoot the basketball, can't they?
They're really good shooters,
Goodness
and they're
gracious.
even better when they get 2 shots at it in one possession, and they've been killing them on the glass here lately, and Salzman, I can see, is exasperated there.
I like that comment. They're even better when they get 2 shots at it. 18-14 Trinity. Johnson, he gives it over to Scott. There's a deep 3 off the iron. No, rebounded by Johnson of Trinity, and he hands it now to number 30, Brendan King, who just checked in on me. Under the radar again. King. They kick it over to Damon McLean. Berkman thought about that 3. 7:05 in the first half. Trinity up 18-14. Trinity escaped Henry Clay last night, and Lexington Catholic looked impressive in their win. Whitman leads it out to Agbugu. McLean getting back. Agbugu slows down now. He's trying to get it to Luke Johnson. Johnson's defensive assignment is Lucas Berkman Johnson in the paint, spinning, stopping from 10, won't go. Knocked up in the air, right back out to Agbugu.
Tough shot there by Luke.
I mean, he can create, but that was a little bit off balance.
Well, he spun back and he shot it with his offhand. So,
Spain and Zan Payne loses the ball, but picked back up by Luke Johnson. Johnson pounds it down now with Berkman out there on him. Gets a pick now from Peter Whitman, angles left, bounces to Agbugu. You're right, King has 2 fouls out of the game for Trinity, and Donovan Morris with 14 points, 2 fouls. He's on the bench for right now for Catholic.
Nice pass.
Whitman, strong move, missed the layup. Rebounded by Terry. Johnson gets it back on the pass, goes in on Whitman. Now loops it back out, and here's a Berkman, and that rattles in and out. Nice rebound by Scott.
That's what they need. One rebound every time. Just give one shot, challenge shot, and get the rebound. And, down here on this end, I'd like to see Luke come off those ball screens a little quicker. He's coming off of them a little slow. He's trying to read the help, but I'd like to see him try to fly off that ball screen one time and attack and get to the basket.
Donovan Morris back in, coach, and out Blake Scott. I like Blake Scott. I've said that throughout all the Catholic games I've covered this year already. He is going to be a fine player. He already is a good player, a junior. He started early in the season. And there's a three-pointer knocked down by who else? By Morris, and he has 17 points already. 18-17. He's got all 17 Catholic points.
How do you cool him off? He got in foul trouble. He's on the bench. He comes right in, and he hasn't cooled off one bit. So we got to find him.
Backs up and knocks down the three. Made sure he was behind the line. Christian Terry makes it 21-17.
His size gives him a big advantage to be able to shoot that way. You got to close out a little bit closer to him.
Now Bryan Station and Dunbar coming up after this one tonight. What a big night of basketball here from the Buter Gymnasium, the Traditional Bank Classic. We've got a pretty good crowd in here right now.
It's a great crowd. And Luke again, Schmidt with the task, denying Luke the ball.
Morris finally got a three that wouldn't go for him. He's been making everything. Long pass to Terry, running the floor, fouled and blocked, and he's going to go to the line. Christian Terry, and big fella Whitman went up against the wall and the padding there pretty hard. Now, like I said, we can't discuss the injury that Peter's been, that he has had, but looked like he might have hurt his knee a little bit there.
They called the third foul on Morris.
So Donovan, I didn't think Donovan was there. I knew he was there, but I didn't think he fouled. And Coach Salzman's going to go over and talk to him and say, you know, Donovan, you're having a terrific game, but you got to stay away from that third foul.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, he already had the fast break layup. Your team can get you points back, but you can't get fouls back. Once you have the foul, it's on there for the entire game.
Right.
You know, you can get 2 points back. So I'm sure that's what Coach Salzman's reminding him
He's had
about.
a terrific game with 17 points. He's got all 17 Catholic points. 23-17. Both free throws connected there by Christian Terry of Trinity. Payne.
Nice dribble weave.
Knocked away there from Price, and they say last touch by Catholic. They're going to give it to Trinity.
I think on that play you probably should have tried to lay that in. I think that's what the assistants reminded him too. He had the layup, but you love the unselfish thought, but just finish the play.
Luke Johnson looking to get on track here, coming off 30-point performances back-to-back. Right side, Schmidt lines up the three, in and out, and Payne rebound over his back is going to be Terry.
Good block out that time. They're doing a better job of keeping Trinity off the glass. On the other end, Trinity's doing a good job of taking the Knights out of what they want to do offensively. Just good, hard man-to-man defense.
4:10 to go, first half. As we said, big night of basketball. Lexington Bryan Station, Lexington Paul Dunbar coming up after this one. Coach DeForest will give you all that action as well here. They'll take on the winner here in the championship game tomorrow night. Spin move by Johnson. No, he's a little bit off so far in this game. Johnson is. Normally he's knocking those down.
Oh, yeah. He'll pick it up. I mean, he's one of those guys that once he gets hot making those shots, you can't guard him, but you got to live with some of the misses early.
Schmidt goes baseline, hangs, won't go, and stuck back up and in by Harris.
First time we've seen a press here. They're trying to press, but they already broke it. So.
And the lead is 8 for Trinity, the biggest lead they've had here with 3:31 to go in the first half, 25-17. Donovan Morris with all 17 Catholic points on the bench with 3 fouls. Johnson to the basket, hanging, and it rolls off there, and Luke can't believe it. That one, here's a steal by Payne, and he loses a handle on it, and knocked out there by Burton, but the official's going to give it to Trinity.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Like I said, Luke is he's going to get it going at some point and make a run. He's got to keep attacking the glass like that. Don't get discouraged. Those shots fall 90% of the time.
3:10 to go here, and Coach, what does Catholic need to do here? They're down 8. You don't want to go into the locker room trailing Trinity by double figures.
And, you know, they're getting layups. I mean, I wouldn't know what to say to them. I mean, they're getting into the lane. They've just got to finish some plays. You saw Payne with the basketball, had a layup, but he ended up turning it over. They've got to finish plays down here in the paint, and then they got to get a hand up on shooters.
King, three-pointer, and knocks it down out of the corner. That is Brendan King. And the lead has ballooned out to 11 for Trinity, 28-17, 2:48 to go here in the first half. Trinity has their biggest lead of 11 as Brendan King, the junior, knocks down the three, the southpaw out of the corner, Coach.
Yeah, it's getting into a dangerous place right now score-wise because Trinity's up 11. I think they're going to try to press here out of this timeout. And you've got to rotate out to the shooters. You can't give them open.
Let's take a look, Coach, at that Brendan King out of the corner. And a good, the thing about Trinity is they find the open guy as we take a look at the replay there. Got a nice stroke, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got to run at him with a hand up. You can't block the shot, but you try to affect the shot. You got to at least make them know that you're there. And, that's what I thought. They're going to come out in the press here, try to press their advantage.
Price is in there now for Catholic. He's got the ball. Comes over to Agbugu to Luke Johnson. Johnson dribbles out of the double team. Johnson down the right side, hanging, and can't get it to go, but he's fouled there by L.J. Harris.
That's a great attack. That's getting to the paint. That's going to stop the clock, let you cut into the lead. And he went in off 2 feet and drew the foul, and he was determined to get to the basket. And something else that Coach Salzman did that I really appreciate it. He put Luke at the second line on the offense. Most of the time, against a full court press, your point guard is the first man catching the basketball. Instead, he was able to catch it against the second line of defense, and that's why he was able to get to the basket.
Johnson, who's an outstanding free throw shooter at 83%, knocked down the first one. That's his first point of the ball game, Coach. Matter of fact, that's the first point of a player of Catholic not named Donovan Morris.
Well, he sees the ball go in. That's what you want for a shooter. Now they're able to press and maybe pick it up and get a steal here.
28-19, Trinity by 9. They have the ball and the lead. Schmidt, double team, dribbles back out of that. He is a cool customer to McLean. In the middle, they kick it over there now to Terry. 2:15, and Trinity's going to be patient here, seeing the Catholics in a zone defense.
They are, and that's Catholic's traditional matchup, zone press. They played it ever since Danny Haney was a player and a coach. They've got to find Terry. He sneaks around in the corners, and his size allows him to shoot over those guys trying to close out to him. So they better locate him. Don't let him get up a three here.
And the foul was called on Johnson, his first. That's only the team's 5th foul against Catholic here in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a clean game. Trinity's been able to get to the basket and get the shots they want.
McLean hanging and scoring. Tough shot by Damon McLean. First basket from McLean. 30-19. Rocks lead back to 11. They've had that twice now. That's Harden, the freshman, in there in the ball game. He's got it with 1:46 to go, first half. Out top on Schmidt. Gives it to Johnson. He goes down to Payne. Payne hangs and scores, and they call a
they're calling a charge.
Charge on Zan Payne.
That was a tough one. Well, the Trinity player knew he was going to take that power dribble, cut him off at the block. Whether or not he was moving, the official said no, strong power move.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 4 points now that have been taken off the board. They called the charge. Sparkman the other one, this one on Payne. There's almost a steal by Sparkman, but he stepped on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a 4-point swing. It could be a 26-23 ball game.
Yeah, don't discredit those because this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be closer than the score right now, and those 4 points are huge. Not to mention that it creates that sense of, I got to watch out where I'm going when I drive because the charge is there. So that Trinity does a great job. I mean, Coach has been doing this a long time, man-to-man defense. He's great at it.
Minute 28, and Trinity in the white, Catholic in the black, and Trinity has the lead in the basketball. 1:20 to go here before halftime. McLean's just going to pound it down, kind of looking over at Coach Salzman. Now he brings him out a little bit more. Harden comes out to take on McLean, out a little bit deeper.
Well, and I'll tell you, Coach Szabo, I mean, if they're up 11 with 1.5 minutes and he's got the best ball handlers in the game, he feels like he can just hold the ball for that minute, go in either up 11 or up 13 or 14 if they score.
Berkman working on Agbugu. Back to McLean, down to 55 seconds here in the first half. And that's going to be a little bit too much contact there by Agbugu, and he's going to pick up the foul, and it'll be the bonus situation now. Trinity in the bonus with 52 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, you got to get your hands out of there. I'm sure that's what Coach Salzman's talking to the official about. But, if you're Trinity, it couldn't have ended up any better. You're getting free throws.
McLean missed the free throw. Luke Johnson rebounds. Johnson has 2 points in this first half, coming off a 30-point performance the last 2 ball games. Donovan Morris has been the big story with 17 points in this first half, but He picked up his 3rd foul. Agbugu fakes the 3, goes out top now to Sparkman. They swing it around to Harden. Harden in the lane, dumps it back to Johnson. Luke hanging in the air, throwing it up, but he can't get it to goal. That's 3 or 4 shots that Luke Johnson normally makes around the basket that he couldn't get to drop for him there, but he will shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, and you can credit, Trinity's defense. They're, one of the best ways to keep a good score from getting going is don't let them touch the basketball, and Trinity's doing a great job of that. But, if you remember yesterday, Luke ended the half in like 40 seconds. He had 6 points.
Yes.
So depending on how Trinity handles this next 30 seconds, he might end up, he scores in bunches when he scores.
Both free throws, he's got 4. It's 30-21. Trinity by 9, and Jacob King back in with those 2 quick fouls. He's back in there for the last 30 seconds, and Coach Szabo taking a risk there that he didn't get a charge call or something. He's got the basketball in the middle of the floor. Here comes King, angling right. Gives it to Schmidt, back to King. King moves in, back over to Schmidt, stolen away, and steal by Luke Johnson. And coming out there with it is the big fella, Peter Whitman.
Big score here. If Catholic can get a score here, it'd be a big boost going into the locker room.
Especially if they can knock down a 3. 10 seconds. Harden, back to Luke Johnson. Agbugu, and here's a long 3, and it's off the rim, but there's Harden to rebound. Baseline throws it up, short, no. Tapped around, and that's going to be the first half, and we're going to go to the locker room with Trinity leading 30-21, Coach, here. Trinity on top here, and the first half. But what a first half by Donovan Morse.
Yeah, he really stepped up for the Knights. That's good and bad. You want to try to see more balanced scoring. You want to see them get some post touches next half with Payne and maybe Whitman. Try to get it to the foul line. Get some shots close to the basket. Luke's points will come. He scores in bunches when he does. On the other hand, Trinity's shooting, their 3-point shooting has been the difference so far in this game against the matchup zone. They really pulled the zone out, and they've made those. They've been able to shoot the 3 well, which has opened up the driving lane. So you have to pick. You pick your poison with Trinity. They're a great team, and they're showing why.
And they lead here at half, 30-21. The Rocks lead the Knights here. We'll come back with halftime here at the Buter Gymnasium. Big doubleheader tonight. Coming up after this one, it'll be Lexington Bryan Station, Lexington Paul Dunbar after this game. And halftime, Trinity leading. Trinity on top, 30-21, leading Lexington Catholic. We'll be back on Night Vision and PrepSpin. And also thanks to White, Greer, and Maggard, our title sponsor on the network.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Welcome back here to the Buter Gymnasium. We're at halftime. Gary Ball, Coach Lee DeForest, and William Warfield. Take a look at those first half stats there, Coach. I tell you what, Trinity out-rebounded them 13-8, but to me the story is, even though Catholic's 4 of 9 behind the three-point line, Trinity's 6 of 11. So, I mean, that's a 6-point difference right there. Both teams, well, especially Catholic knocking down the free throws, they're 7 for 7 in the first half.
Yeah, well, if you're a Catholic fan, you really don't like the trends in the first half.
Right.
Because you have so many, Catholics getting good shots in the paint. They've got to finish. And Trinity is obviously out-rebounding them because at this point I think, Catholic's only shooting 31% from the field as a team. And you've only got, like as you mentioned, 2 scorers in there that scored so far. So I think Trinity will make the adjustment and get King back in the game, how they've been attacking the zone of Lexington Catholic. But also I know Coach Salzman, he's out there talking to his 2 scorers right now. I bet he's telling him, hey, listen, we got to be more aggressive. We got into the lane. Take your time. You're going to get the looks you need. And we'll see how they adjust to, they've been doing a good job, Trinity, of denying Luke the basketball. So let's see what they do in the second half to adjust to that.
Yeah, speaking of Luke Johnson, he's just too good of a player to be held to no field goals in the half. I know Trinity's defense is solid, but Luke is that talented of a player. He does have 4 points, all coming at the line where he created, going to the basket. And I think you're going to see him be a lot more aggressive here in this second half and be more of a factor. And Donovan Morris needs to also realize that he needs to stay away from that 4th foul. He's got 3 fouls, and he had 17 points in that first half to lead everybody.
Yeah, and the game needs to be a little more fast and up-tempo, and Luke will get more shots up. I think he only took 2 or 3 shots that first half, and he needs to get more shots. He'll get better shots as the game goes on. And listen, once he gets going, once he hits 1 or 2 shots, he'll be able to get it going and knock more shots down. And real quick, I want to give a shout-out to Nathan Green out there who's listening to the show in Somerset, Kentucky. So I know he's a big fan of Luke, a big fan of this team. So just want to say hello to him.
Also, shout-out to Coach Szabo. We mentioned Frank and Linda Szabo. His parents are watching, I believe, up in Massachusetts, he said. Also some folks watching up in Maine. And want to shout out to Roy and Lena. I believe they're down in Florida watching. So folks watching this game all over. That's the great thing about what William Warfield does at PrepSpin with that high definition. Man, you can watch this game anywhere in the world on that World Wide Web. Man, who created that? The internet.
Who did? Al Gore? I don't remember who took credit for that.
But what a nice thing it has developed into, right, Mr. DeForest?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, my family watches this game as well, even though I'm commentating. They love watching basketball, and there's no better games than to watch the Traditional Bank Classic in the tournament we have tonight.
We got coming up Bryan Station, Dunbar. Gary Ball, coach, lead DeForest. We're looking forward to that one, and we're looking forward to this second half to see if Luke Johnson can go off here for Catholic like he typically does. As you said, Coach, he's capable of 10 points in a hurry, and they're looking for him right off the bat. And that's Donovan Morris, who had that huge first half before he was saddled with that 3rd foul. He works in Trinity. There's Luke Johnson deep on the side. He comes back to Bugu. Zan Payne, the son of Kenny Payne, the top assistant at Kentucky, has got the knee pads on there. Over goes to Luke Johnson. Elbow. Johnson, a little floater. Hook shot good. Boy, we're talking about him. And there he answers. That's 6 for Johnson. Trinity's lead cut to 7.
It's his first field goal, but it's a nice floater to get him going. He shot that with the right hand, and remember, he's left-handed, so it's tough to guard.
Schmidt gives it up over to Berkman. Berkman down low to Harris. He kicks it back out to Schmidt. Lines up the 3, rattles out, but rebounded by Berkman. Boy, Trinity getting the offensive glass. Over to King. King down low to Harris. Cut off by Payne. 30-23. Trinity by 7. And they have the ball. King kicks it in the corner. Schmidt's 3, and he got it. Boy, that was a pretty shot out of the corner by Schmidt. And a great delivery there by Jacob King.
Kills you offensive rebounding. It was an issue in the first half and shown its ugly head here again. If you're a Catholic fan, you got to rebound. 1 shot and done for this team.
Luke Johnson down low, kicks it back to Payne. Payne loses the handle on it and right to Trinity. Schmidt's got Berkman to his right. Schmidt drives and scoops and scores. 35-23 after Catholic had it to 7 to 3 by Schmidt, then the lay-in by Schmidt, the senior leader, one of the captains of this Trinity team.
It's the biggest lead of the game, I believe.
Payne. And there's going to be a blocking foul as he runs into Harris. Payne, and they're going to call a foul on Trinity's Harris.
Yeah, I think the call was Harris was moving whenever he made contact. In high school, usually if you're moving, they'll call that a block. But at the same time, Kenny's got to keep Mr. Payne there. He's got to keep his shoulders up. He doesn't need to dip that shoulder. They're going to look to call offensive foul the more he dips his shoulder. Watch for the lob off the inbounds here to Luke.
And Johnson can lob to Johnson, and Luke lays it up and in. Great call, Coach. Did you just Did you walkie-talkie that down to Salzman or something?
Well, no, I think he told me what we were doing,
Okay,
but you got to
gotcha.
watch out for Luke on the inbounds. He's got 2 for 2 now in this half, and he's going to get it going.
Wide open Burton. He was too wide open. How do you get that open? I mean, easy layup there for Burton. Lead back to 12, 37-25. Morris trying to go back to Payne, and it's last touch there by Zan Payne, and that's getting a little careless with the basketball right there.
That is. I think, though, they're trying to increase the pace. You know, you don't want to give up easy points, but Catholic's doing a good job of trying to increase the pressure, trying to pick the pace up of this game a little bit.
5:45 in the third, and Trinity on top. Berkman bounces to Burton. He loses it. They lead it out to Agbugu. With King back, Agbugu hangs and lays it up and in. First basket for J.J. Agbugu. So 3 field goals here in the quarter, 2 by Johnson, 1 by Agbugu. So the point I'm making is guys are scoring other than Donovan Morris. But
Yeah,
Trinity still has a 10-point lead.
They do. They're a little careless right now with the basketball, having that lead, but they're going to have to take care of the basketball if they want to come out here with a win.
Schmidt, nice pass to Burton, lays it up and in. Boy, Schmidt just felt the pressure coming to him and just dished it underhand to Burton, who laid it up and in with an easy layup. Lead back to a dozen for Trinity. 5 minutes in the third. Agbugu back to Morris. Donovan had 17 points in the first half, but also was saddled with 3 fouls. Payne out top. Payne over to Morris. Morris fakes, gets a pick. Morris now gives it back to Johnson. Luke now stops and lets a 3 rip, and it rolls in there. Boy, it hit the rim about 3 times. And, boy, you talk about a kind roll. The 3-pointer, and that is 11 now for Johnson. He has 7 in the quarter.
He scored 7 points here in 3 minutes, so he's picking it up on the scoring load. They've got to get stops down here, though. Trinity gets it into the paint and gets it to the basket too easily right now.
Yeah, they are. They're getting some easy lay-ins. And there's Schmidt, a 3 off the iron. Payne with a nice box out there on Johnson.
Oh, here you go.
Johnson, Luke to the basket on King, and he is going to be fouled. And, boy, King is going to pick up a critical foul here. That's going to be 3 on King.
Luke is a tough matchup in transition because he's going right to the rim, and a lot of times if you cut him off, he goes back to the spin.
So King will have to go to the bench. He joins Morris with 3 fouls, but McLean is a good backup there. You know, Damon McLean comes in, and you lose some with King's creativeness, but McLean's a pretty solid player as well. Spin by Payne, and he lays it up and in. Great move by Zan Payne. First basket by Payne, 39-32. Trinity's 12-point lead cut to 7.
They needed that. Someone else besides Luke stepping up and scoring here in this third quarter. Nice move by Payne.
Schmidt, Bryan Station and Dunbar play later tonight after this one. The winner here will play the winner of that tomorrow night for the championship, and we'll give you that. Here's a reach by Johnson. Not sure what Luke was thinking there. Game time tomorrow night, Mr. Warfield, the championship is at 9 o'clock. William, game time tomorrow night, the championship. What's the game time tomorrow night? Game time tomorrow night, championship game? 8 o'clock. Okay, we'll double check that for you. 39-32, Trinity has the ball. That's McLean. 7:30 is the championship time tomorrow night. Going to be a clear out there. Terry cleared out in the official right there to call that one, and so to give it to Catholic. You know, a 3-pointer here would really make it interesting. Cut this thing down to 4. 3:30 to go in the third.
You see Trinity in their zone press. Back to Luke here. If they can get a shot here to go, I mean, it's going to be a different kind of ball game as we set up for the fourth quarter.
Johnson, NBA 3, and it won't go back. Ball knocked away, picked up. They throw it right back to Trinity. The freshman Harden had it, jumped up in the air. Here is Price with the steal. Price with the steal gives to Agbugu. Lead it out to Johnson. Wrap around by Johnson. Over now goes to Harden, the freshman. I hate to keep saying he's a freshman, but I just like when the fans say that. He's a freshman. I don't know why I like that so much. Harden's got it. Harden working on McLean, out to Luke Johnson, 2:48. Catholic down 7. Johnson in trouble. Now go. Penetrates. Off glass, good. Luke Johnson, he's not in trouble. He said, I'm not in trouble. That's 13.
That was a nice drive, and he kept it in his hand. In the first half, and they're going to call a timeout, obviously, they've got to do a better job of handling Luke off pick and rolls. But in the first half, Luke was coming off a little bit timid. He would take one dribble, pick it up, one dribble, and hit the roll man. This time he kept it in his hand, and he saw the lane when it opened up. And then again, he's left-handed. That was a right-handed runner off the glass.
As you called him, he's ambidextrous.
He is. I mean, that's hard
He's
to guard.
amphibious.
He's amphibious. I've heard it called that by some of my family. Let's not say anything. But yeah, that was such a good drive. He's hard to match up with because he can use either hand, and he scores in bunches. So, you know, even though he only had 4 points in the first half, there was no way he was going to end this game with 4 points in the second.
He's taken over here in the third. He's got 9 points in the third quarter, and Trinity's lead was 12. It's now trimmed to 5. And we want to thank White, Greer, and Maggard, William, White, Greer, and Maggard, our title sponsor. All of our sponsors here for the Night Vision. Of course, Night Vision sponsors, Collins Bowling Lanes. Also, when you look at Lexington Catholic, you've got All Sports and UK Credit Union, all those folks, and White, Greer, Maggard. Thanks to all those folks for sponsoring high school basketball. Gary Ball high atop the Buter Gymnasium here in the corner, the crow's nest as I call it, with Coach Lee DeForest, the former head coach at Garrett, now top assistant at West Jess with Damon Kelly. And did Damon Kelly tell you about the prank they pulled on me on my show a couple years ago?
He hasn't told me. But
ask him about that, will you,
I
Coach?
Can't wait.
Tell Gary Ball wants to know the whole story. 39-34. McLean for Trinity's got it. Angles right side. Gives it up. It's stolen away by Catholic. That's Harden. Harden drives down. Hangs left hand. Won't go, but draws the foul there. He took it right at the senior, Gabe Schmidt.
And you see the coaching staff at Catholic standing up there and applauding that effort. That's how you go up strong. He went up to make the shot. He didn't go up to draw the foul. And that's what they're happy about. And able to cause the steal out of the timeout. And you see King checking back in. I'm sure Coach Szabo was not happy at all with the way his offense is being run right now.
Harden has made this a 39-35 ball game. Trinity led by a dozen, by 12 points a couple of occasions, and right now it's 4, and Harden can cut it down to a 1 possession, but he missed it short. But Agbugu grabs the rebound. Out top, throws it right away to Schmidt, though. Trying to go to Johnson. Schmidt crossing over. He gives it to King. King dumps it down low. They go right side. Shot knocked down there by Christian Terry off glass.
How many players would have taken another dribble to try to set up a closer shot, maybe gotten a charge? He banked that in from that's a tough shot, about 10 feet right there.
Harden to Johnson, and he's going to be bumped there by King, and that's going to be Brendan King. That's first foul on King. He got in some foul trouble last night, Brendan did.
He did. Luke's got such a first step, and now this year with the rules, you can't put two hands. It's supposed to be an automatic foul with two hands come to the hip, checkable ball handler, and that's what happened on that play. You see Smith rotating back over. He's done a good job on Luke so far.
They get it to Luke Johnson deep in the corner, lines up the three, bullseye. Luke Johnson, what range? He's got range when he steps in the gymnasium.
He's got it going right now. He's going to be a tough cover from here on out.
16 now, had only 4. King might have got away with a walk, and that rolls off, rebounded by the big fella, Whitman. Whitman, they clear it out to Agbugu. Strong move to the basket, scoops and scores. And we have a 41-40 ball game. Catholics cut it to a point here. Minute 30 to go in the third quarter. Jacob King, cross for Trinity. Trinity had that terrific game with Henry Clay last night. What a game that was. Louisville Trinity. Schmidt, and goes baseline, and we're going to have a grab on him before he took it baseline.
Well, in the first half, that would have been an open three in the corner. They're doing a much better job of rotating against that play they've been running, that little set there. And the corner's not open, but Schmidt did a good job of lowering his shoulder and getting to the rim there.
How about Luke Johnson, Coach? 12 points here in the quarter, 16 points. Averages 25. 3-second call against the Rocks of Trinity. So Catholic, could you imagine if they could get the lead here with they got a nice crowd over there, nice student body. They call it the Dungeon over there. That reminds me of that old game I played at UK, Dungeons and Dragons. Johnson tight ropes it. Johnson to the basket, flips it over right side. Agbugu says, thank you very much, lays it up and in.
Again, Johnson with 2 assists, even though he's got 12 in the quarter. He made that pass to Agbugu and then another pass to Agbugu. So he's doing all right now offensively for the Catholic.
And the Knights have their lead, 42-41. Trinity led by 12. Now Catholic by 1, 38 seconds here in the third. Ball knocked away, Whitman, and Whitman comes out of there with it, gives it out to Harden. Harden over to Johnson, lines up the three, tries to bank it in, no rebound. Agbugu rolls out of there. Whitman battling, and coming out of there with it, though, is Trinity. Burton. Burton spinning like a top. Down the lane, throws it up, blocked, and coming out there with the Catholic, Luke Johnson. He leads it out, Agbugu. Agbugu hangs, no, Johnson flies through, picked up by Harden, and Harden is going to be fouled, I believe, is going to be the call. Great hustle right now going on by both ball clubs, but in particular in transition by Catholic.
Both ball clubs are getting after it. You saw this last night in the Henry Clay game in Trinity. Both teams realizing now that they're in the second half, they've got to get after it. Up and down play, just amazing.
42-41. If you're just tuning in, Gary Ball, Coach Lee DeForest, and William Warfield. Emma Eiler, our associate producer, Miss Eiler, here tonight. William Warfield, of course, executive producer. We all answer to William.
CEO, executive
CEO,
producer, creative director.
Free throw knockdown. I tell you what, I really like this Harden kid. I mean, the thing I like about him, he's aggressive and he knocks down free throws.
And they need that. Look at this building on this lead. Who would have thought? But again, you know, it's about big players stepping up. I expect King to take this last shot here. Catholic better be ready.
King, who's hit the three in the first half, but saddled with some foul trouble. King stops from three. We're tied. You called it, Coach. We are tied as we head to the final quarter on the three-pointer by King, his second tray of the game. And they're wondering why Hard didn't get out on him a little bit as he comes to the sideline. 44-44. We'll return here on the White Greer Maggard High School Basketball Game of the Week on Night Vision and on PrepSpin. We'll return to the fourth quarter after this timeout.
I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White Greer and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White Greer and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White Greer and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Back with Luke Johnson going off with 12 in that quarter for Catholic. Big three by Jacob King there for Trinity at the end of the third. We are tied at 44 as we head to the final quarter here at the semifinals of the Traditional Bank Holiday Classic here at Lexington Catholic here. Final quarter action, and Trinity will have the basketball with the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter.
Interested to see here. Luke got off there in that third quarter. Interested to see if Trinity stays in the man or if they try to run and jump and get the basketball out of his hands, and another Catholic player will have to step up.
Trinity plays catch out front. That's Gabe Schmidt. Goes over to Brendan King. They go over to Burton. Burton down to Harris. He's got 3 fouls. Over to Jacob King. Cut off by Whitman. Baseline. Now gives it back to L.J. Harris. He skips it over. Throws it right to Luke Johnson on the skip pass. Johnson in the front court trying to go behind the back. Picked up, though, by Agbugu. He loops it out now out front to Donovan Morse. Back to Agbugu. 7:27 to play. We're tied at 44. Louisville Trinity and Lexington Catholic. Johnson. Baseline, cut off, throws it up, and the ball goes in, but they're going to say shot. The foul came before that shot banked in there, and the Catholic fans, of course, give you the old boo.
Well, Luke is now at the line, 1-1. He's doing a great job of attacking the basket here. You know, Trinity's going to have to pay attention as they've done a good job in the first half of knowing when he has the basketball, you guys better rotate over there. He's getting to the basket.
And what Coach Zabo, Johnson missed the free throw, what Coach Zabo's questioning, they called that foul on Jacob King. That's his 4th foul.
Oh, wow.
So that's 4 on Jacob King, and Coach Zabo's like, what? I don't think he was involved in that.
I guess it was on the help, the rotation down. I guess they thought he hand-checked him, but it's going to be interesting now to see who Trinity goes to. Last possession, they went inside. Let's see what they do. And you got Schmidt out there who's knocked down a few shots. I look at the high ball screen here to try to free Schmidt.
McLean back in there. Damon had 2 points in the first half. Goes over to Brendan King. He's got an open lane. Cut off there by Catholic Whitman there on Harris. LJ moves in on Whitman with the left hand, won't go. And a nice rebound on the floor is Payne, but picked back up Schmidt. He dumps it down low. Knocked out. Last touch by Catholic.
Good battle, good effort. Both teams are scrapping. Those are those 50-50 balls you try to come up with, but just look at the energy of both teams right now.
Exactly. Schmidt to trigger to Burton. Out to McLean. He's looking down to Harris. Instead comes over to Burton, right side free throw line extended. Now they give it to Gabe Schmidt. Schmidt back to McLean. 6:42 in the ball game. We're tied at 44. Louisville Trinity, Lexington Catholic here at the Lexington Catholic Holiday Classic. There's McLean, a three. Got it. Big shot, McLean.
That's a huge shot for them. Let's see what happens here. I anticipate who gets the basketball. They're trying to get it to Luke. He'll probably come off baseline screens if he can't get it.
Johnson has Schmidt on him, turnaround Payne, 15-footer off the iron, no good, and rebounded by Burton of Trinity. I don't know if Coach Salzman liked that shot very much. Here's a shot, a three-pointer won't go, rebounded, coming out of there with it Morris. Morris, wrap around, trying to give it to Johnson. He reverses, and what a great reverse by Johnson, and what a great look by Morris.
That was a fantastic pass. I'm not really sure many players would be able to make that shot off the catch under the backboard. I'm not even sure that Luke even looked at the rim, but just having a feel for the basketball, that's hard to teach.
McLean's shot won't go. Burton climbing the ladder out to King, launches, good. He's almost automatic.
Yeah, that's a layup for him. You got to find these guys and run out at him and get a hand up on King. It's an easy layup for him.
50-46, spinning, and shot won't go for Donovan Morris, but he draws the foul. Will shoot two. 50-46. Trinity by 4, Coach. A lot of time, 5:33 to go in the game.
And you watch Coach Szabo. Couldn't believe the call there, but at the same time, you had him making a spin move. Anytime an offensive player makes a spin move, you're going to have to let him go up and try to make the shot. Don't reach in and bail him out and put him at the free throw line. And I know that Coach Szabo was upset about the call.
Morris, because it went on Brendan King, he's got 2. Morris missed them both. Payne flies in and rebounds, and jump ball. The possession arrow will give it to, on great hustle by Payne, will give it back to Catholic. But normally a good free throw shooter, Donovan Morris, just missed 2 big ones there. That would have cut it to 2, but timeout called on the floor. 5:33 to go here in the ball game. Trinity 50, Lexington Catholic 46. We'll return here on the White Greer Maggard High School basketball game of the week. We'll keep it right here with Coach Lee DeForest, Gary Ball, William Warfield, 50-46. Coach, timeout, and I believe, was it Trinity who called that timeout or
no,
Catholic?
Catholic called it. He probably called it because they're going to get the basketball on the baseline, and he probably wants to
that little lob to Johnson?
Well, that worked once. I doubt you're going to get Coach Szabo and the Rocks on the same play twice, but interesting to see a lot of times on underneath out-of-bounds plays, it's so close to your basket you can set up and get a quick one, but also pay attention to the secondary action. After the basketball is inbounded, they might set some up there to get someone an easy shot. So
50-46, and Lexington Catholic will have the ball, and they'll have it underneath their own basket, as Coach Lee DeForest said. They did miss 2 free throws, but Zan Payne, with great hustle, tied up the Trinity player. The alternate possession rule gave it to Catholic.
Well, I can almost anticipate Luke's taking the basketball out. He's going to be coming off some kind of screen after they get the basketball in.
Johnson in the corner to Morris, and he traveled before he moved toward the basket, so that turnover will give it to the Shamrocks of Trinity with 5:31 to go in the game. They're on top 50-46. They led by as many as 12, Coach.
I know, and if you pay attention to the fouls right now, there's 18 fouls, and then you see 8-2 here. Trinity with 18 fouls.
Burton is a good ball handler. All that, like you said earlier, all these guys. Harris on Whitman, fakes, turns, won't score. Rebounded by Payne. Payne's going to be fouled, and I believe King is going to be whistled for that one. That'll be 3 on Brendan King. We already know that Jacob King, his brother, has 4.
Well, they got exactly what they wanted. They isolated Whitman in the middle of the paint. He made a great move, spin move. You know, you just want him to go up and finish it. I mean, you did exactly what you wanted to do. But now they're back at the line with the clock stopped here, 5 minutes to go, able to cut into this 4-point lead.
So Payne up there. Zan Payne, the 6'5 sophomore, does have a field goal here in the second half. Free throw is no good. They've missed 3 free throws in a row. That could have cut this to a 1-point ball game, possibly tied it, Coach.
I mean, you know, that's what you want if you're Lex Cath. You get to the line. You've got to knock in your free throws.
4:57 to play. Brendan King back over to Burton. Moves down the paint. Kicks it out McLean in the corner. They go now to Schmidt.
This is a big possession for both teams. I mean, if you score here, go up, you know, You go up 6-8 points here, it's big.
Trinity knocked off a really good Henry Clay team, 63-59, and Payne thought he had a steal there. Thought he got that off McLean, but the official said no, went off Zan Payne.
I only say that, with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, if you score and you're Trinity and you go up by 6 points and get another stop, now you're really in control of the game. So Catholic needs to get a stop, get out in transition, and get a quick score and cut this down to 2.
50-46. McLean dribbles in the paint, kicks it back out now to Schmidt. Out on the left arc, they go back over to King. He lines up the three. It's off the mark this time. There's Agbugu boxing out, getting the rebound. He shoots it out to Luke Johnson. 4-12. Here's a three-pointer, and it's going to be a foul. Had that gone, it would have counted, and it would have been a 4-point opportunity. And Morris will shoot 3, and the foul goes on King, and that's his 4th. He joins his brother Jacob with 4.
You love the challenge. You've got to challenge shooters, but in transition, he was probably 2 feet behind the three-point line, and you hit him on the wrist right in front of the side official there. Not a smart play, and I know King knows that. Coach Zabo knows that. I mean, that's his 4th foul, and now you're going to get to the free throw line. If you're a Catholic fan, you cut into this lead, and then you're able to set up your pressure and hopefully keep this run going. If you're a Trinity fan, you want to beat the pressure. Go back, I think, with that same isolation that you had before against Whitman. We'll see what happens there.
Morris has made 2. He's got 1 more. As I said, that shot gone, it would have been a 4-point opportunity to tie it up, but he can cut it to 1, and Donovan knocks all 3 of them down. He's typically a good free throw shooter. We mentioned that early in the game when he knocked down 3 for 3 in the first half, and he now has 20 points, Coach. He's the game's highest scorer. Luke Johnson has 16 unofficially on my sheet. My sheet is very unofficial. Here's almost a steal by Johnson, but picked up by Burton. 50-49. Harris posting up on big Peter Whitman. Tries to give it back. Instead goes to McLean. Right side, they kick it over there to Lucas Berkman, who just checked in. He got in under the radar again. They always do that to me. How do they do that, Coach? I get in quick,
What a post up there. Quick foul call on the post.
That's 4 on Donovan, who had 3 in the first, early in the second quarter. He picked up 3, so he stayed away from that 4th, but now he's picked up his 4th. He joins both Kings with 4 fouls for Trinity. McLean. Boy, Schmidt is just steady Eddie out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's solid.
To the basket on Whitman, hanging. Whitman got a piece of it, but he also got a piece of Schmidt. And Schmidt will go to the line and shoot 2. 6'6" Peter Whitman thought he got the ball, but, Whitman coming back from that injury, as we said, is really gradually getting better and better. He's going to be a force come tournament time, Coach. I think there's no doubt about it.
And you could tell he had the right position there, a little bit late, but Schmidt did a good job of lowering his shoulder and taking the contact, going up strong off 2 feet. But Peter probably should have just kept his hands straight up. There's allegedly the principle of verticality where you can jump straight up.
Right.
But, in high school it's seldom called. But he's got to get his hands up and not slap down there at the end.
Schmidt hit them both, so it's a 1-possession game. Catholic needs a 3 to tie. 52-49 Trinity. 3:20 to go here in the basketball game. Winner goes to the championship tomorrow night at 7:30 right here at the Buter Gymnasium. Bryan Station Dunbar. Watch that one coming up about 15 minutes after this one tonight. Coach Lee DeForest and I will give you all that action. Bryan Station and Dunbar.
And look at Harris. He's basically in a one-man zone, number 23, guarding off of Pittman, but basically just there to help on the drive. He's got 2 eyes on the basketball, calling out everything, ready to help on Luke.
Johnson gives it to Whitman. He hangs and scores and probably was fouled and no call. Burton was all over him, and Peter Whitman with a strong move to the basket.
And that's what you have to do, and you could see that was what his whole job. Harris's job was to stop the dribble drive by Luke. Luke drove in and made a great no-look pass off the dribble, and you've got to be proud of Whitman to catch it with 2 hands and go up strong and finish. And now Trinity's going to have the ball back. I'm sure King will be checking in soon. They've cut it to a 1-point lead here, and if you're a Shamrock fan, they're getting the shots they want. They got to the line last time, and I anticipate them doing the same thing here, coming off a high ball screen, trying to get to the basket.
And we're going to take a look again at that Whitman finish there. We talked about him with the injury early in the year, and, of course, we can't tell you what kind of injury it was because of all the HIPAA laws, but pretty serious injury to come back from, and the young man's done a great job there, big Peter Whitman. Of course, what shoes to follow? Let's take a look at that replay, Coach. Yeah, great dish, as you said, Coach DeForest.
Yeah, and he kept it in front of him, and he got both feet square to the backboard. And, if you're a player, you got to remember that. You want to get your feet square to the backboard, go up strong, and he protected the basketball, and he didn't go up for the foul. A lot of players would have went up and faded away or went up for the foul. He went straight up, able to finish off the backboard.
Whitman's such a big kid, 6'6", he's strong. And Burton was definitely on his back a little bit. That could have easily been a foul called there. We've seen a bunch of them called like that in this game, but never. The thing that I like though is Whitman just ran down court, and said, "Hey, no problem."
Yeah, both teams don't complain about the officials. The coach's job is to take care of that. But you can see it's 10-4 fouls that might have had something to do with the fact that they didn't call that one.
Yeah.
So you never know.
2:43, 52-51. Trinity has.
You better find King in the corner. That's all I know.
1 point lead. As you said, he's back in there, the little sharpshooter, averaging 17 points, held in this game to 6. But, boy, that three was huge, though, that he hit earlier in this game at the end of that quarter, remember, right at the buzzer.
Oh, yeah. Off a high screen and roll similar to this.
King out top, Whitman coming out. King spinning, stops on Whitman and throws it up and in. King with 8. 54-51, Trinity by 3, 2:10 to play here in this semifinal game. Winner goes to the championship tomorrow night against either Bryan Station, Dunbar. We'll have that game next between Lexington, Bryan Station, and Dunbar. Kick about Agbugu. Now to Luke Johnson, spinning. Johnson tries to dump it to Whitman, but before the pass, he's called for traveling. Excuse me.
That's not. I don't believe that's a travel. You see that called sometimes, and then sometimes you don't see it called. So I thought he had off 2 feet and got rid of it before his other foot came down, but the officials saw it differently, so called the travel there. Big call.
Can Trinity survive again like they did against Henry Clay last night? They're definitely a survival team, aren't they?
They're going to hold the basketball, and I anticipate Catholic to get much more aggressive because, again, they've only got 4 team fouls. You got to get 7 to get into the bonus. I anticipate them just being super aggressive here. Trinity's going to hold the ball for the next 98 seconds.
Trinity trying to win the championship here. And there's going to be Agbugu thought he had a 5-second call. It's going to be a blocking call against Agbugu. That's 2 on him. That's the 5th team foul. So timeout by Catholic. Minute 24 to go. We'll be back here on the White Greer Maggard Game of the Week on Night Vision and PrepSpin. 54-51. Trinity on top, and they have the basketball when we come back.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm Other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White Greer and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White Greer and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White Greer and Maggard for a
We're back here
picture-perfect
live.
smile.
Gary Ball, Coach Lee DeForest, William Warfield, Emma Eiler, Lexington Catholic grad, our assistant producer. Minute 24 to go, and Coach 54-51 Trinity.
They got to come and get them, and that's what they're doing. That's why they called the timeout. You don't want Trinity to sit there and hold the basketball and let the time run out. If you're Trinity, time is your friend. If you're a Catholic fan, you've got to get possession of the basketball.
Lucas Berkman dribbles into the lane. Shoots it back out to Schmidt. Well, they got some great ball handlers in there right now, Mike Szabo.
Great free throw shooters as well. All that's by design. They're trying to take care of the ball.
Minute to go, and Trinity has the 3-point lead and the ball. And Whitman's going to grab Burton from behind. That foul's going to be called on Whitman. I'll tell you what, when Whitman gets you, he's going to foul you.
Yeah, that was they probably should have fouled a little earlier to get into the 6th bonus. I think they want 23 to be I think they want number 10 to be the shooter, but they've got to get this pressure. That's not who you want to put to the line, I'll tell you that.
87%.
Yeah,
pretty much automatic up there.
He is. He's the one responsible for them having the 3-point lead with that great move and great shot that he made over Whitman with the jump stop, the pump fake to get the big man in the air, and then his ability to finish that little fadeaway from about 6 to 8 feet. That's difficult to guard. Gets fouled now, has a chance to put him up 2 possessions. This is big free throw here.
King's free throw, got it. We said he's pretty much automatic up there. He's got 9 points, 6 of them here in the second half. And Coach, Bryan Station Dunbar coming up after this, and what do you expect in that one?
I think more of the same. Great basketball, competition all the way. This free throw's huge, but right now they're up 2 possessions. I anticipate Catholic Luke Johnson to go all the way to the rim to try to get the and one or get the foul.
Dunbar's thinking if we can knock off Station, we already had one shot at Trinity. They played him in the King of the Bluegrass and lost by 10, 80-70. So Dunbar's pretty familiar with Trinity. They already played him once this year. But Bryan Station's in their way.
Yeah, Bryan Station's going to be a heck of a hard out. He's a very talented team.
56-51. Catholic has the basketball. Donovan Morris with 42 seconds gets a pick from Whitman. Morris into the lane, hangs and won't go, but there's Zan Payne getting a hand on it. Taps it out to Johnson, and Johnson undercut, and Johnson thought he was out of bounds, but jump ball called, and the possession arrow, I think, is in the favor of Trinity. Yes, Trinity will have the ball. Johnson thought he was fouled. I mean, basically great hustle by Trinity's Berkman to dive at his feet.
Well, it's first to the floor.
Yeah.
You know, whoever gets to the floor, you're going to get possession of the basketball. Tough angle, though, in Luke's defense to dive on the floor where it was at. But, you know, on that possession, Luke has to come and get the basketball. You can't be denied. If you're going to be, you know, you're the team's best player, averaging 25 points a game, you can't let them deny. You got to come and get the basketball and try to make a play.
Johnson thought he got a back tap with no foul, but the official said it's a reach on Luke Johnson, so he's picked up his third. What a great second half by Luke. He has 14 points in the second half.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Like I said, he scores in bunches. And as we mentioned, and Trinity doing the same thing they did in the first half. They're denying him the basketball. And that's a good way to keep a score out of rhythm. If Luke can get it going, listen, 5 points is nothing in 30 seconds for this team.
Free throw knocked down by Mr. Automatic. He's like Cal Macy up there.
He's got good form. He's worked on it. Good free throw shooter. None of that is by accident.
57-51. Trinity by 6. Their biggest lead has been 12. Catholic led momentarily in this second half, and he finally missed one. It's his first miss. Does have 11 points.
Trouble here.
Johnson over to Agbugu. Back to Johnson. He'll fire the long NBA three. Back of the rim. No. Payne rebounds and throws it right to King. King was anticipating that. Drives down on Agbugu and lays it up and in. 59-51. That should do it. 12 seconds, even if Catholic's Johnson over now. Morris lets the three go off the iron. No. Payne, he's going to kick it out. Agbugu, he launches a long three. Back of the rim, no. And Trinity's going to advance to the championship game tomorrow night at 7:30. Trinity wins it 59-51. Great effort by Catholic here tonight, but Trinity is a really good basketball team.
Well, and you see why Trinity's ranked where they are in the state, able to finish off the game with excellent guard play by King, who was in foul trouble most of the game, but able to come in late when they were only up 1 point, get to the basket, make that pump fake and finish that shot, as well as, remember, he ended the quarter with that great three-point shot. So, you know, he really took control of the game when they needed him to.
Talking to Bill Alverson, the president of Traditional Bank, CEO, so he is in the building tonight. 59-51. Trinity prevails. And, Coach, they did it much like they did against Henry Clay last night. Survive and advance, and that's what Trinity does. And free throw shooting, ball handling, the key down the stretch for Mike Zabel's team.
Sure. With 2 minutes to go, they went into a three-guard, basically deny game. And when you have shooters and ball handlers, it's a luxury. That's what Trinity has. They were able to control the game late. They had the lead, 3-4 points. They weren't in a rush. And when you're late, you have that ability because of great guard play. And then you also have a great leader in King who ended up with that steal.
Yeah.
Just his impactful plays in such a, when it's a tight game like that and you have a player like King, he really stepped up when he needed to.
He was the difference last night against Henry Clay with that late steal. Remember, he stole it, and Tisdale couldn't really challenge him with 4 fouls and then laid it up and in. So that was a great job in that game as well. We got the final numbers from this one. Coach Lee DeForest will give those final numbers for you from the ball game. And what a great second half by Luke Johnson. Coach, take a quick look at those numbers, and we'll take a break, come back with the Dunbar-Bryan Station game.
Yeah, well, one thing you really notice is the rebounding for the Knights in the second half really improved. They ended up winning the rebound battle, which if you watched the first game, first half, I don't think you would have believed that, but they ended up shooting for the game. The Knights shot 44%, 55% in the second half. They were 11 of 20, although they were only 2 of 7 in the second half from 3. Whereas if you look at Trinity, finished for the game 53% from the field, which is excellent. They shot over 50% both halves, 52% from 3. Okay, they were 10 of 19 from 3.
That's
They've
incredible.
That is. You've got shooters, and we knew that, but then you look at the statistics, as well as if you take a look at free throws, both teams, 70%. You had the Knights ended up 13 of 18, 72% from the line, and the Trinity Shamrocks ended up 7 of 9 from the game. Didn't really get to the line as much because they were shooting so many outside jumpers and making so many outside shots. They ended up 7 of 9 from the free throw line for 77%. So it's just a game about players. I mean, you can look at statistics, but Luke Johnson stepped up when they needed to in the second half, and King, being his team's leader, getting them into the championship game, just does what he does, made plays when they need him to.
Yeah, and Donovan Moore's, they actually missed some points for him. If this is the final number, is this the final stat sheet? I'm assuming it is, right?
Yeah,
well, they missed some because he made 3 free throws in the second half. He had 20 points, and they've got him with 17 on here. So they missed a few on him. But Luke Johnson, 18 points for Catholic. And look at the game, Jacob King, who started slow, finished with 13 points, and down the stretch, some critical points down the stretch to free throw shooting. 9 points for Burton. Looking at rebounding, he also had 8 rebounds, so big job on the board. What about Zan? Look at my guy, Zan Payne. 8 rebounds again tonight. He averages nearly a double-double, and he had 8 rebounds again tonight, Coach.
That's huge. And when you look at Catholic, and you mentioned Luke Johnson scoring, he ended up with 7 assists in this game, so he's such a big factor for how well they're going to play. And, I think if he would have had a better, more active scoring role in the first half, the game might have been different. But Shamrocks, Trinity knew what to expect. They denied him from the very tip, made it difficult for him to get involved, and then he was able to get going there in the third, but they ended up really trying to shut him down in the fourth. And a lot of that has to do with the ball control. Trinity really slowed the ball down in the fourth quarter, sort of milked the clock there a little bit, and able to get exactly what they wanted and finish the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned King, and I agree, but I think Gabe Schmidt was a real steadying influence too. He finished tying for game high honors for Trinity with 13 points, so he did a great job as well. Schmidt, the senior quiet leader for Trinity. We'll step out. Those are the final numbers. Trinity's big number 59, Catholic 51. Gary Ball for Coach Lee DeForest, and William Warfield will come back with Bryan Station and Dunbar on the pregame of that one. Trinity wins this one 59-51. They go to the championship game tomorrow night to play the winner here at 7:30. Thanks for watching the White Greer Maggard High School Basketball Game of the Week on Night Vision and PrepSpin.